Okay, so this is my Minesweeper project. Alright, so let's go through it. So these are my fields. So these will be seen throughout the scope of the whole class, and so they are useful so that you won't have to keep uh, making the same. Well, since we'll be using them all throughout the class, right? So that's why we want them to be like this in to be fields, right? Okay, so we also have our constructors. Here we do what we've been doing the whole semester. We're setting the member variables, and we're setting them to, so like for example here, rows. So if I put 10 here, rows will now be 10, columns 20, and then bombs. But yeah, you can see it better here, right? But anyway, as you can see, we call create bomb grid and create count grid in all these constructors. And the reason we do this is because because remember, we're trying to create a 10 by 10 grid, and we're trying to stuff a set of 25 bombs into them. So that's like what, 100 squares. So like 25% of that grid, it's gonna be bombs. All right, so here's my create bomb grid method. So here's where, of course, we create two arrays, one for rows and one for columns, and we make their size 25, or whatever the amount of non-bombs is, right? So here's where we add the random functionality. We use the random class in order to do this, and we use this from util, right? That's where we're importing that. Here's where we populate the array. We use a double for loop, and we fill the bomb grid with false. So I want you to see this. So you see how most of this is false, false, true. It's not just one. Well, right, as of now, all of the indices, they're all false. But now we want to add bombs. We want to make some of these true. If I were to hit this, click this square, while I were playing Minesweeper, I'd lose. And that's the point of the game. All right, so here we use this primitive iterator, and we use the random. Here's where we use the random class in order to create a random set of cells, random set of values from 0 to 25, and we use this iterator in order to perform that function. Here we do a little bit of math, and so as I was saying, we use this primitive iterator. We do a little bit of math, and then here in this for loop, we essentially do what I said earlier, where we make some of these values true, and that'll be where the bombs will be stored. That'll be where your potential losses for this game will be. You click any of these squares, you lose. Well, the ones that are true. Alright, so here's a create count grid. More the same in terms of using the 2D arrays, right? So now we're using the count grid array. However, this one will be using the integer data type. Use another 2D. No, sorry, double for loop. Let me indent this real quick. And it looks much better. Here we use these two methods in order to find out if these indices are valid. So, with this method, we're just finding out, is the indice bigger than 0? Is it less than numerals? If it's valid, right? Otherwise, you get a null pointer exception if, say I were greater than 25. Greater than, num rows or num columns, right? I've lost. Yeah. Okay. And then this other method is just gonna check if the bomb is at a certain location, and here we're just returning the bomb grid, and you're gonna put in according to these parameters is what you'll be calling this method. Wait, I don't know if I'm explaining myself well, but we're gonna check a different set of indices to the array with this method. Yes, I think I've explained myself. Okay, so here's main. Here's where we're gonna be putting everything together, using these methods. So these other methods, I've already explained this one. So this is just get num rows. It's just gonna return num rows. We've seen this. It's getters, no setters though. And then here, the get bomb grid and get count grid. It's just gonna return a copy of the array, right? Result. Let's just name a copy. That makes more sense, I think. Right, and we'll do the same here, because what we're doing is we're just copying the array. Okay, and then get count at location. Again, return count grid according to the indices you've chosen. And now in main, you see we have to do these grids. We have to do these 3 grids. And so what I decided to do was, I don't really want to write so much. I'm just going to create a private void method, right? In order to, so I have to write a lot less, right? So here, I call the grid, I make a new grid object, I use, I don't create, I use the bomb, we create, we create a bomb and a count. This is inconsistent, and they should all be, but whatever. We get two to the arrays, and we call methods. So get bomb grid. So here's where we're setting up the grid, right? Get count grid, and then in the row, we're gonna get num rows and get the number of columns. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna print it all. Because we've already explained how these methods work, right? So they're just gonna do their job. Then all we gotta do is just print out the, make it look pretty. Just here. Here's our cheats. What we're doing here is we're making our cheat. This is where we're gonna cheat, right? This will tell us where the bombs are located, as I've said earlier. But yeah, I think that'd be it for my grid. Otherwise, so I've tried messing with the J panel, and I've gotten close, right? So I created a Minesweeper J panel. That's what that abbreviation means. Have some fields, And what I do is I create a double for loop, and here I just call the buttons to the array I've made, and according to the indices, I'm going to create a new button at each index, right? Then I'm going to set the size to each of them, the font, and we're going to add them to the action listener. Then we're going to add the button, which should not be that. It should be buttons. We're going to add the buttons to the, that's weird. Create, change. Oh, right. Sorry. We have to, I think this is what it is. Maybe. Yeah, because we have to add each button. We're not the whole goddamn array. Then, here's the action performed. I just use another for loop to iterate through the button click, to see if the button's been clicked. But I haven't gotten it to work, unfortunately. Well, we can try right now. No. Doesn't work. Very sad. But yeah. And then here, what we do for the J frame is we make a main J panel. We set the background. I chose dark gray. Then we use the MSJ panel. We choose a color, and then we just add it to the main. We add the Minesweeper J panel that we created here. We add it to the main. Then we set the title. You need to do this because this one's especially important, because if you don't put this, then when you close it, the program will keep running in the background. You don't want that. And then all we gotta do is just make a GUI. Yeah, just call the Minesweeper JFrame, this class, and the main method, and then it'll display. So, yeah. That's about it from me. But yeah, I hope I could have gotten a little bit farther into this project, but I like what I've done so far. Thank you.